Stepped into the spotlight to rob the Penguins time after time. The one-goal lead quickly evaporated, and a 4-goal barrage in the second period spelled doom north of the border at historic Maple Leaf Gardens. Tonight, the Los Angeles Kings invade the Igloo, fresh off a win in Chicago, sparked by a new face. Stay tuned, hockey is next. It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. Tonight from the Civic Arena, the Pittsburgh Penguins host the Los Angeles Kings. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Civic Arena. The final game before the holiday season begins, the Penguins against the Kings. Last night, the Penguins were handled by the Maple Leafs, a 7-1 loss. More importantly, they lost their #1 goaltender. Tom Barrasso left after one period, and the Maple Leafs really opened the door at that point.
Yes, they did. Tom Barrasso showed signs of an injury on Saturday night in the game against the Washington Capitals when he winced in pain in the first period. He stayed in the game, earned a shutout, but then last night that pain continued in the first period. He came out of the game and was replaced by Peter Skudra, who had not played a game in quite some time. He had gone 18 games without actually getting game action, so that's a long time, and there's no substitute for game action in terms of goaltenders getting sharp. You can work all you want in practice, Mike, but you got to get game conditions, and I think Skudra is a guy who has shown to be resilient, to be able to bounce back from tough performances, but it's really tough. He's got to work his way through it now, try to get his timing and rhythm in a hurry with Barrasso on the shelf.
The Kings have had a tough year, to say the least. They've had a lot of injuries, and their record, they are now 11 games under 500. Last year at this point, just 2 under. They are in last place in the Pacific Division. They come off a victory, but it has been a struggle for them.
Yes, it has, and one of their big reasons is because they're having a tough time scoring goals. They have the worst power play in the league, so they got some help. They made a deal with the Buffalo Sabres to acquire Donald Audette, who was a holdout in Buffalo. He was acquired for a second-round pick, and what did he do? He went out on his very first shift in a Kings uniform and scored a goal the other night in Chicago to lead them to a 4-1 win. So he's off and running right away. He had 24 goals last year, Mike. He's a guy who hangs around that net. He's good on the power play. He's got quick hands, kind of like Stu Barnes, a little guy, and they're hoping he can deliver a lot of big goals for him the rest of the way.
In a moment, it'll be the Penguins against the Los Angeles Kings, but before we go to that, let's get the thoughts of Stan Savran. Stan?
Thank you, Mike and Paul. When the New Jersey Devils won the Stanley Cup in '95, Larry Robinson was the hottest commodity among coaches. He was pursued by a number of teams, and when he finally signed with LA, he was paid a ransom of $700,000 a year, which was more than most of the established coaches in the NHL. Robinson, of course, played under the best defensive system ever devised, that being with the Montreal Canadiens, and then he coached as an assistant under Jacques Lemaire, who believed the only good shot on goal was one with an empty net. But Robinson has not been able to employ that philosophy in Los Angeles because out in La La Land, it is the sizzle, not the steak. Winning hockey games isn't merely enough out in Los Angeles. You have got to have some high-scoring flyers, and that flies in the face of Robinson's coaching philosophy. This team should be better, injuries and all. They've got Steve Duchesne. They have got Luc Robitaille. The former Penguin leads the club in goals. The second leading scorer on the Kings, our old friend, Glenn Murray. The face-off is next.
Due to and the home of the
And we will look at the starting goaltenders for tonight's game. Jamie Storr will be in the net for the Los Angeles Kings. He was the netminder who won against Chicago on Sunday night.
And a first-round draft pick of the Kings in '94, taken 7th overall. Drafted pretty high, highly regarded by the scouts. His record 2-5-1, a 3.12 goals against average. Peter Skudra allowed 5 goals last night in a couple of periods. He's 2-2-3 with a 3.13 goals against average. And his backup tonight, Craig Hillier, a first-round draft choice of the Pens.
Was called up from Syracuse. The referee for tonight's game will be Richard Trottier. And the 2 linesmen, Derek Amel and Ray Scapinello. Scapinello now the senior official in the National Hockey League. And stepping in will be Joseph Stumple for the Los Angeles Kings against Marty Straka. The Penguins will make some changes in their lines. They'll put Straka back at center, move Robert Lang to the left wing. That's a change from Lang being at center and Yager on the right side. Penguins pair up Yuri Slager and Kevin Hatcher. The Penguins without Darius Kasparaitis tonight also. And included is Alexei Morozov, who is out with an injury. And here comes Straka breaking to the Kings in to begin the contest. It's tapped over to the near corner. Stumple trying to clear. Yager gets it in the slot, and it jumps right by the stick of Straka onto center ice. Los Angeles Kings using rookie Pavel Rosa On the right wing here was Snuffle, and Luke Robitaille, who played a year for the Penguins, on the left side. Here comes Robert Lang with room. He's got a man open left side. Straka tried to take the shot himself. Stripped of that puck as he tried to let it go on the wrist shot. Rob Blake, who last year won the Norris Trophy, is the best defenseman in the league. It goes to Straka, to Yager. Between the circles, he fanned on it. Robert Lang hurries it back in behind the net. Jamie Storr tried to handle it. Now he picks it up with his glove, runs with the puck. Now he dropped it off, and now Blake gets the puck, whips it off the boards, and away it goes. Actually thought Storr had that puck in his glove, but apparently he did not. Opening. Another rookie on this team breaks into the blue line area trying to get the puck from the Penguins. Maxim Galanov whipping in behind the net, and here's Titov for the Penguins. Straka still on here for the Pens. Bobby Dallas takes over at the left side of defense. He's paired with Maxim Galanov, and Galanov had a little trouble with it. Dallas hurries it right back through center ice and allows the Penguins to make a wholesale change here. Alexei Kovalev will play center with Titov, and Stu Barnes gets the right wing position held by Alexei Morozov. They'll score early moments of play here in the first period. Yermon Titov finds a breaking Bobby Dallas. Good pass off. Man open. Here comes Titov with Kovalev, and a heavy slap shot. Missed the goal. And off the glass very quickly all the way up ice. And Scooter has to handle the puck for the first time tonight. Penguins have had the ice tilted to the King zone here in this first couple of minutes of play. Kovalev, though, in his own zone here, trying to drag it out of danger. Wheels it ahead to Stu Barnes. On to the Kings end. He lost the puck. Kings will counter with a new line out here. Donald Audette will play out here. Vladimir Siplikov and Ray Ferraro. To the center iceman on the line, Steve Duchesne, who was reacquired by the Kings, signed as a free agent, started his career with Los Angeles in 1984, and he originally signed as a free agent then, too. Kings Ferraro looks the scene over. Ahead it comes to Audette. Audette trying to gain some space, can't do it. The Penguins poke check it away. Herdina of the Penguins. The matchup the Penguins have here against Ferraro's line. Herdina on board with Robbie Brown and Kip Milling. The Pens use Ian Moran back on defense with Brad Wawrinka. Audette to the net, and Scudra stumbles a bit, but he makes the save on Donald Audette. And they've got two legitimate Penguin killers here in this lineup when you look at Audette and Ray Ferraro. Let's look at the scratches, and the Kings have a ton of them. People out. Eric Lacroix with a fractured sternum. Sandy Mulger with an injury. Matt Johnson is eligible to play off that 12-game suspension for hitting Jeff Bukaboom of the Rangers, but not playing. Philippe Boucher. Courtnall has a fractured ankle. Fisset out with a groin. Josh Green, a rookie, and Yannick Perreault. The Penguins, you can see those players that are out, and we mentioned them in the first couple of minutes. Here are the lines for the Penguins tonight as we looked at it in the warm-up, what they'll go with. They had Moran playing with Wawrinka on the defense, but Moran will be a swing guy, can play the right wing too if they put a fourth line out. Actually, he'll play the left side because Danny Kessler would take the right wing. Here's O'Donnell to the Penguins goal. Sean O'Donnell had for a Scooter make that save. And Robert Lang of the Penguins with the Pens working with Straka, Yager, and Lang one more time. Yager quickly back into the King zone. Decked out of their traveling black uniforms with a purple and white trim. Cross-rink pass over to Marty Straka. Crisscrossing will be Lang and Yager. With an all-check line out here. Working against the Kings. Straka with the puck in front of Yager, and he pulled the trigger. I think the defenseman blocked it. Shot to the net by Lang, and that's stopped by Jamie Storr. And the Kings spin it away to the left side of Luke Robitaille. Robitaille leads this club in scoring. He has 16 goals already. He's only 6 shy of 500 in his NHL career. He will assumably hit that this season. It'll be a big, big night for him. Penalty coming up. Robitaille upended, and the Penguins will draw the first penalty. Opening minutes of play. The Kings get the power play.
Of Luke Robitaille. He kind of pinned that stick against his body with his elbow or the inside of his left arm, and that was just long enough to draw the penalty from Richard Trottier.
It was a good call, and the Kings crank up the power play last in the league, and the Penguins are just the opposite. They have the worst penalty killing, so you would think something might give here. And tonight, Hatcher with the puck. Bodger will keep it in to the near corner. Doug Bodger, the former Penguin, bank it in behind the goal, and Ferraro can't come up with it. Glenn Murray, another former Penguin, on the right wing here in this line. Siplikov on board too, and the Penguins chop it away to center circle. The Penguins have given up 25 power play goals. Their penalty killing 76.2%. They are last by a wide margin. They are way down. They're holding that spot very comfortably, and an icing call here against the Kings brings the faceoff all the way back into Pittsburgh territory.
Our Dodge keys to the game. Mike mentioned Penguin killers. Well, that's our third key. Attention to detail. The Penguins got to get back to playing their system and doing the little things to make the big things happen. And they've got to help Scooter. I think there's a tendency for teams to tighten up a little bit in front of a backup goaltender in any case. And the Penguin killers, Ray Ferraro, Donald Audette, Luc Robitaille, there is a handful of them out there, even Rob Blake.
Danny Kessel won a big face-off. Here is Dallas to the net, and that is stopped by Jamie Stewart. Danny Kessel went down to Detroit, just recalled today. Had a couple of goals and an assist in a few games, a handful of games with the Vipers in the International Hockey League. Penguins corralled again from their own end. Marenka comes slowly with a lot of room to work with. The thing I'm noticing here in the early going is how much room the Penguins have to carry the puck. Much more so than what we're used to seeing. Gary Galley drags it out of his own end. To the right side over to Joseph Stumple. Makes a little move on Marenka. Got a step on him. It goes to Galley. Galley has scored some big goals against the Penguins too. His wrist shot deflected, and that goes into the seats. Galley had a 2-goal game here one night. And he's been with so many teams, I can't remember what team it was with. Well, I think it might have been Philadelphia.
He's been with a lot of them. He's been with the Kings, the Caps, the Bruins, the Flyers, the Sabres, and the Kings again. One of the many defensemen out of Bowling Green. I was going to mention that the other night we were in Florida. They got that new kid in their lineup, Peter Ratchuk, who came from Bowling Green, and have been so many good ones over the years. Santa come out of that college. Yeah, Santa came in. Santa's at the game. Santa has entered the building.
Robitaille dumping that puck in. Nerves were a little misplaced on that Santa. Compared to what we're used to seeing. And here is Kip Miller throwing that puck all the way to the Kings goal. I think for the better, actually. Robbie Blake comes up with 18 seconds to go on the Penguin penalty to Marty Straka. Blasted in. Slager of the Penguins couldn't get control of it. Hatcher will take the puck, bounce it up to the near corner, and here's Audette. Donald Audette. Right in front, a good play by Slager to pick it off.
Good to see Yuri Slager getting a chance to kill penalties. He played 9 minutes last night, most he's played in a while, and you got to figure with Kasparaitis out, he's going to get more ice time.
Here comes Glenn Murray with that good speed, the 225-pound forward. Breaks into the Kings, the Penguins in. He's off to a pretty good year again. He had a fine season last year for the Kings. The Penguins, though, take it away. Yager trying to get through traffic, and Johnson checking him. I think we had Johnson down as a scratch, but he is out here. So redo that. It's Craig Johnson. My apologies to you. Craig Johnson is working, and Matty Johnson got the scratch.
Well, Jaromir Jagr has a good relationship with Kevin Constantine. Last night he went to Constantine on the way home, and they had a little conversation, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if that's when the decision was made to move Robert Lang to left wing and Straka back to center. Marty probably feels more comfortable being at center ice because he has more room to maneuver out there, but I still believe that Robert Lang's size is a factor here in the defensive zone. So we'll kind of have to watch where Lang goes, and he takes the responsibilities in the defensive end of the ring on that line.
As Nordstrom wraps at the length of the ice, and Galana quickly to it. And icing called against the Los Angeles Kings.
You think Robert Lang would be pumped up here tonight to play against the Los Angeles Kings? He's played about 130 some games with them over the course of 3 years. He's not a prolific scorer for them, and it was earlier in his career, and maybe just at a time when he was still developing. I think he's a more complete player now than he was in Los Angeles. We've heard some stories, interesting stories, Mike, about the bankruptcy in Los Angeles. When Lang was there, when they had the problems with McNall, and it was during the lockout year, and the players, after the season resumed, they were in danger of not getting their paychecks. I mean, they'd have to, if Wayne Gretzky arrived first to get his check, then everybody worried. They thought they weren't going to get their money. That's how bad it was. Some guys wouldn't get their checks sometimes. The league has instituted a rule. The minute that happens now, you instantly become a free agent. So that'll never happen here in Pittsburgh. That happened a lot in Los Angeles that year.
The Penguins, Alexei Kovalev drags it through to the King zone, tried to go to the net, and Barnes got a little shot off, but Storr made that save off his left leg. Craig Johnson of the Kings. Couldn't play or teed off it. Finally missed the net. He had a chance on the club man side to goaltender Jamie Storr. Guillermo Titov again with a biscuit. Kovalev lost his helmet. He tries to put it back on, and he's rammed hard on a check on the near side by Sean O'Donnell. He lost the helmet again, right out of his hand. Marenka sees a flying puck come into the Penguin zone. Glenn Murray pinching along the board. Perrier trying to get a piece of it. Number 22 for the Kings. He can't. The Penguins take it back. Two bars to Ian Moran. Moran's going for a skate back behind his own goal. Puck played up to the point. Cut off by the Los Angeles Kings. Kovalev feeds it over to Brad Warenko. We are scoreless here in the first period. Los Angeles steals on a wrist shot to the net, and that stopped. But Perrier got the shot off. Stuber's bowled over.
Should have been a penalty. Penguin goaltenders just getting run over by people. That's a nightly thing we see, and it's amazing. You just don't see the Penguin players doing that to the opposing goalies at the same rate that you see other teams doing it to Penguin goaltenders.
Pichot, the Milesman, he can't make the play, and Yager takes it right back into the Penguins' end. Mark Pichot playing out here, and Yager's flattened by Sean O'Donnell. And Straka hit O'Donnell from behind. O'Donnell's got to be pretty strong. I mean, he put a pretty good hurt on Kovalev. Hit him enough to knock his helmet out of his hands, and now he flattens Yager. So Sean O'Donnell really may have some much better strength than what even we thought. We'll be back in a moment. We are scoreless here in the first.
For one of your favorite pizzas, you can score a limited edition Pepsi-Cola Cordell Stewart football for just $3.49. Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
That great basketball player who left his sport to try his hand at baseball could not understand.
Sutton is really into this game. From the near side, Joseph Stumple. He can work the boards extremely well. Stumple using those hips, battling against Jan Hrdina, fellow countrymen, both Czech players. It squirts free, and the whistle had sounded. And we get a stop in play. Robbie Brown's going to bring himself to the Penguin bench. Now, he went down and got himself back up, but he is favoring a leg.
Give him credit. He got himself up and was really trying to make something good happen along the boards, trying to help out, but he just had no leverage at all.
Blocked a shot.
Yeah,
that's what happened on the ankle.
Right on the instep, it looked like.
Well, Robbie is in some pain. He does not want to show it, but he is hurt. Remember last night I was talking about the Stu Bard situation and all the things surrounding that, but again, you just can't have enough depth on your hockey club. I mean, it's the way it is. Players will be injured during the course of a season, and all of a sudden here we start talking and players start going down. I better be quiet.
Yeah.
Brown on the Penguins bench, and we'll see how things develop with him during the course of this game. Probably be a lot better tonight than he will tomorrow. That skate surrounding the ankle and the foot. Usually that will kind of take the pressure off. Walking on it, it's a little different situation for the leg. The skate on. Robitaille lines it down to the Penguins' far corner, and Bobby Dallas unable to get to it. Right behind the net, the Kings continue to work hard. It's Donald Audette. Freeze it. Trottier gives a quick whistle. Boy, it's one of the referees are different. There are referees that will not give you any whistle when you go on the boards, and there are referees that give you quick whistles. I would say Trottier would be in the quick whistle style of refereeing. So if you get along the boards and you jam it, he's going to give you the face-off, much more so than most. Paul Stewart. I'm telling you, you better be dead on top of the puck before he's going to blow the whistle.
A lot of referees will just say move it, move it, move it, so they kind of will control the game that way verbally, as opposed to just quietly waiting for players to move the puck. They'll tell them, I want you to move it, I'm not going to blow the whistle.
And then here on with Craig Johnson and Glenn Murray. Penguins have this face-off. Yager back on for the Pens.
I think the Penguins are seeing as much pressure from the Kings here in their own end as we saw the last few games in Florida, Washington, and the Leafs last night.
O'Donnell taking Lang wide on the play. Roger and O'Donnell, the two defensemen out here against this unit that features Jaromir Jagr. Robert Lang. Now a hit. Not going to put a hit on Robert Lang. The puck moved quickly by the Kings. Boy, Glenn Murray, look at him skate down that right wing snag. He can fly. He's got all the tools, Glenn Murray. Penguins worked and worked and worked trying to make things go for Glenn Murray. It didn't pan out here, and he's gone to Los Angeles and done very well. But this guy has.
What happened, Mike? They went to LA and they had a big toolbox for him. They had a big toolbox. They gave him that, and everything worked out.
Could be. There's the face on it. Didn't make him think about it.
He took all those tools with him. Yeah. He said, "Here, Glenn, here's the box." He didn't have it before that.
Jagr stretching out, but stripped to the puck again. Forster made the play.
And I'm happy for him because he's a really good guy.
Craig Johnson. Good Gets it over to Blake, and he jumps to the net. Rebound comes free, and look out. That wrister there by Bichot. Bichot just missed. It was blocked away by the Penguins. Both teams getting chances to score here in this first period, but neither are able to complete the scoring chances. After that, the Penguins have the upper hand. He lost the puck. Here are the Kings again. Bilesma going in. He can't come up with it. Bichot is trapped up ice now, but covering well at that right side is a forward for the Los Angeles Kings. Kings trying to win the second game in a row in the road. They won in Chicago on Sunday night. Penguins Robbie Brown comes off, and he is really hurt. I don't think he can play much more. Icing called. Robbie Brown is done. Robbie Brown just shook his head as he came to the bench as if to say, I can't skate. 6:02 to go, and look at him. He is really favoring that left leg. I wouldn't be surprised if it's broken, to be honest with you. They're going to help him off. He had to ice the puck because he had nothing left. Well, that'll be a great Christmas present for Robbie Brown.
Well, the Penguins have Dan Kessa in their lineup, and he did not get his equipment. It did not come today, so they had to give him a bunch of different stuff. He's got a makeshift uniform. He's wearing number 25. I would expect to see more of Dan Kessa now the rest of the way.
Well, Craig Hillier wasn't even here for the warm-up. He was summoned from Syracuse and barely made it in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
The conveyor belt at the airport got stuck with his equipment on it, so he was waiting for that broke. His equipment was somewhere in the bowels
at the Pittsburgh International Airport. The baggage system. No.
Kid you not, Mike.
It couldn't have been. It cannot be here in Pittsburgh. Sorry, sir. You're not. Anybody that's waited a day. Never mind. There's Ferraro. He thinks they lost it, or was it? Oh no, that's normal. He doesn't realize that was normal.
Actually, it went to the twilight zone. It never came out. And
it's all the time out there. Looking for that new place. You never knew what that ground was before, did you? Old ghost land. People steal back years ago. Tee-top, and we have an offside call. I'll be getting all kinds of heck trouble.
And there is Craig Hillier, who got the call today. We didn't have a chance to talk to Craig Patrick. A lot of people asking why Hillier and not John Sebastian Aubin, who had been up here for quite some time. This is Hillier's first crack at it, so I would think the Penguins want to get a look at him. It might have to do with the scheduling of Kansas City, where Aubin is playing, and Syracuse, where Hillier was playing. Hillier has played in 21 games with Syracuse, a 3.43 goals against average, and an 8-7-4 record. First round draft pick of the Penguins in 1996, 23rd overall.
Big game in Detroit tonight. The Red Wings and Coyotes are tied at 1 in the first period. And the Armour Yager pulling back here in a scoreless game here at the Civic Arena. Yager trying to get through 3 black shirts, and he can't do it. It's hard to describe the Kings uniform. Mostly is black, but then you look at it and it looks purple, doesn't it? Kind of a mixed neon style uniform. Right out of Los Angeles. Perfect. Sprocket over to Lang. Snap that one off over the glove hand. Jamie Stewart.
Actually reminds me a little bit of the old Pittsburgh Phantoms uniform. Remember that? The roller hockey team that we had here.
One off to get the touch, and another icing call, and another timeout. We'll go check our luggage, and we'll be back in a moment. For a Jamie Storr, Steve Duchesne gets the puck for the Los Angeles Kings. Medina takes it right back for the Penguins. Left side, Penguins are getting people open, coming down those wings, wide open, coming down to take shots. Eventually, you keep doing that, you will cash in.
And I think the key there is if you have a guy wide open on the wing, then you need somebody on the weak side to drive to the net, and get the rebound. Just get the puck to the net and let people just drive to the net. I don't think the Penguins are a team really noted for driving to the cage. We mentioned that earlier about running over goaltenders. You just don't see a lot of that from the pen. Take a different approach.
And then again breaks in. Here's Van Murray with a wrist shot and blocked neatly by defenseman Maxim Galanov. Vladimir Siplikov around the boards, and it's intercepted by Stubarn. Skating with a puck has 3 shirts, purple shirts to beat again. He battles along the boards. Kings will get in. Bell Rosa. Spin that puck back into Penguin real estate. Bobby Dallas takes it from Galanov. Lead it on to the neutral zone. Gary Galley circling. The oncoming Stu Barnes to the pin. Pass to the center. Kovalev will take it. Now the left side here's tipped off open for a second. And Sean O'Donnell got over to get the stick down in the body to block the shot.
I would say if you were rating the scoring chances in this game, you'd have to give the edge to the Kings in this first period. They have had some really good ones, some bang-bang plays around the net.
Well, you look
at
at
a goal taken away from them. Who's that in the stands eating nachos?
Oh, man.
It's our executive producer, Paul Kasuth, and his wife, Pat.
Well, a happy holiday to him. Look at him now. He's going to move over and let her have the seat where the puck will come in first. See that?
Here it is. That save that Skudra made off Robitaille. Good play by Stumple right off the draw. That's a set play. Robitaille just didn't get good wood to it. It was off the heel of his stick. Skudra was ready and made the save with the right pad. That was one of the better scoring opportunities.
What's the call here? A high stick on the puck, apparently. That stops the play with 3:01 to go.
Doug Bodger in a Kings uniform. Originally drafted by the Penguins, 9th overall back in 1984. And Bodger now 32 years old. He's played in 1,015 games, including this one here tonight. Acquired from the Devils for a 4th-round draft choice last year. What I was interested to see, Mike, I looked at his record against Pittsburgh, and all these years he's never scored a goal against the Penguins. I was surprised to see that.
He and his wife Tracy, and a son Ryan, and a daughter Rachel. Nordstrom with the puck, stopping right behind Jamie Storr. Bodger came to the Penguins the same year that Mario Lemieux did. There was another 1st-round draft choice that joined the Penguins that year. We had 3 1st-rounders. Bodger was one of them. Lemieux was the second. You know the other one. Give you some time to think about it. Jaromir Jagr. Here he comes. Onto the center circle to Robert Lang. Trying to quickly get it to Marty Straka. It won't happen. Jagr gets the puck, though, as 2 Kings cut crisscrossed, and now he can't get behind the defenseman Rob Blake, who made an all-star play there to take the puck away from Jaromir Jagr. Jagr beat them all. He had 1 man to beat, but Blake, the last line of defense, made the effort there to stop the Penguin high-scoring winger.
Penguin forwards are coming back much better tonight to support the D deep in their own zone. We're seeing a lot of that.
Renka took a bump. It makes the play over to Ian Moran. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the first period. No score. The Kings had a goal that was disallowed because of a man in the crease. Joseph Stumple stretching out. Reminds me a lot of Robert Lang. Drop pass off to the net and off the stick of Peter Skudra. A penalty coming up against the Penguins. Straka will get a second, I think, here. It'll be a tripping call for upending Donald Audette.
Straka had only 10 penalty minutes coming into the game. He's picked up 4 in this game.
This one at 18:21. Well, the Penguins losing Rob Brown here in this first period. Would appear to be a foot injury.
Now Jaromir Jagr heads down the runway.
They're falling by the wayside here all of a sudden. That 3rd player was drafted by the Penguins. He played briefly with them and then went on to Philadelphia. His name, right winger, was Roger Belanger. 3 1st-round picks that year. Bodger's the only one left still playing hockey. There's Rob Blake. Dish it off to Bodger. 2nd power play chance for the Los Angeles Kings. Wheel it to the near corner. This is Joseph Stumple, who saw his career kind of blossom in Los Angeles. Audette tried to snap it in front of the goal to an oncoming Rob Blake, but the Penguins break it up.
Belanger may have been the classic example of a guy who was pushed too soon. He may have been a guy who would have been better off just if the Penguins hadn't been in such dire straits at that time. Spent a couple of years in the minors and really get himself together because he had a lot of talent. He was big and strong, too.
Penguins' best penalty killer, you would think, and Marty Straka is on the bench.
Another interesting aspect of that situation, Mike, was that Doug Bodger did come in and play right away, and he was outstanding right from day one. He really was.
As an 18-year-old.
Yeah, he was the youngest player taken in the draft that year.
Kip Miller makes the play to get the puck away from the Kings. two 18-year-olds playing for the Penguins. One Lemieux and the other Barber. Aretha shorthanded to the net, and Storr will make that stop. Half a minute to go. Titov guns it right to the goal, and it's off the stick of Jamie Storr. The Los Angeles Kings have allowed 7 shorthanded goals. They've also scored a league-leading 9. They've been involved in a lot of shorthanded tallies both ways.
I'm surprised to see Rob Blake has no power play points. He's missed a lot of games. And you would think he would be a guy who would have to be productive with a man advantage.
Lakers shot it up, but caromed off the wood, and the puck is drilled back into the Penguin zone. Offside the call with 0.8 seconds left on the clock. Stan Sabrin will be with you during the first intermission. St. Louis and the Islanders tied at 2 in the first period. I think Stan will probably bring you up to date on the scoreboard and what's going on there. This penalty will carry over to the second period. The Kings and Penguins do not score in the first period of play. The Kings had a goal that was disallowed. Glenn Murray thought he had one, but they waved it off. First period highlights right around the corner with Stan Sabrin. Stay tuned.
Play in the entire NHL. The Penguins, of course, have the worst penalty killing in the NHL. So what would happen when the irresistible force would meet the immovable object? Well, thus far, give it to the Penguins. The Kings have had 2 power plays, have yet to register a shot on goal. They got a shot on goal here. Glenn Murray, cleaning up some garbage, knocks home this goal at 9:40, but a man was in the crease. You saw him on the other side of the pipe. Goal disallowed. Peter Skudra has probably had to kick out the tougher of the scoring opportunities. Nice face-off win and a great feed of Luc Robitaille, but it comes off the heel of Luke's stick. That should have been goal number 17 for him. The Penguins have lost another player to injury. Robbie Brown down to block the shot of Gary Galley. Remember, Galley is a power play specialist. He's got a great shot from the point. Robbie tried to take one more shift. He was not able to go. He was taken to the locker room during his stoppage of play. And given what happened last night with Kasparaitis and Alexei Morozov, they can ill afford to lose a guy like Rob Brown. Each team with 10 shots on goal, but again, as Staggy mentioned, the Kings had the better of the scoring opportunities. Well, next Monday night is the end of the Steelers season, but don't tell that to Bill Cowher. We'll explain right after this.
Since Dodge Caravan's easy out roller seats have wheels that pop down, reconfiguring the interior is an exercise in convenience. Not an exercise in exercise. Why don't all the other guys make it this easy? Go configure. Now get $750 cash allowance on Caravan, $1,000 on Grand Caravan.
How can Geico save you money on car insurance when you buy from us directly? We cut out the middleman. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Am I on? Geico Direct could save you hundreds of dollars on car insurance. Result?
Smaller bill.
Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more.
Penguin fans, register for the Hills Flyaway with the Penguins Contest. You could win a trip for 2 to see the Pens take on Colorado on February 25th and Dallas on February 26th. The lucky winner gets a $100 Hills gift certificate, hotel accommodations, round-trip airfare, and tickets to the games. The grand prize winner will be announced during the Penguin telecast on February 13th. Other prizes include a Gold Circle box for a Penguins home game, Hills gift certificates, and more. Visit a Hills team shop for details and entries.
It's your team. It's your choice. The new Support Your Pens plan makes it easy. Choose any 3 regular season home games and save 10%. So support your Pens and see 3 games of your choice for as little as $54.
Right side, right.
Why not let Pittsburgh Limousine Incorporated make your holiday travel safe, comfortable, and secure?
It's a lot of hockey games.
Yes, it is. And the power play for the Kings, only a brief amount of time here as we begin period number 2. Robert Lang, shorthanded, breaks into the Kings zone. Moving on Bodger, and he'll take him wide. Bodger does. Kings time for a quick rush here with 3 seconds to go. Another good play. Defensive effort by Lang onto Yager, who hits the ice again. He left late in the first period. Back on here for the Penguins, though, and he centers it. That'll come off the stick, and Glenn Murray taps it on the center. The Los Angeles Kings 0 for 2 on the power play against the Penguins. They are dead last in the National Hockey League with the man advantage.
Failed to register a shot at either one of their power plays.
It's got to be driving Larry Robinson crazy, particularly with Blake back.
Well, Steve Duchesne has been a tremendous power play performer over the years.
He's not played well this year.
No, he has.
Reports we've had. And here comes Jokinen, hit by Slager's shoulder. Glenn Murray behind the net, throws it out in front. O'Donnell with a heavy blast, and that's broken up in front. And the Penguins counterattack quickly. Tempo pretty quick here to begin period number 2. Stu Barnes wristing one. That'll be blocked by the Kings. Norster made the play there for Los Angeles. On quickly. Robitaille back to Nordstrom, going to the net, and a wrist shot to the goal, and Scudra cut the angle down and made the save. I tell you, I like a lot of things about this Nordstrom youngster. Watching him play, he got Brown down. He made a really key play there and ended up with a shot on goal. But he moved the puck very quickly out of his own end as he turned and got it back, and he got the scoring chance. It's very impressive. T.S. Nordstrom.
I'll tell you, Stu Barnes came down. He tried to make the play and shoot the puck through traffic. He made a pretty good play down the wing, and when he shot it, it was blocked. And then he was the first forward back on the play, and he had his eyes on the man coming back. If you watch it here. Wait a minute now. I don't know if we get the same situation. No, it's not the replay I was looking for. Never mind. Is that Rosanna Dana used to say that?
Stumple swings it outlet to the right side at center for Donald Audette. He overskated the play. And Barnes now works it over to Maxim Galanov. The Penguin bench for Robbie Brown. I do not believe he'll be there for the Pens. Barnes behind the net, throws it back in front of the cage, and it's deflected. Barnes again back after it. Playing out here on the right wing with Kovalev and Gerabon Titov. Drop after Robitaille. He'll sail that one wide. Robitaille will be 33 in February. Back to the center point to Galley. A slap shot, and he pulled it off the boards. Oh, good save by Scudra on Audette, who had the angle and the net lined up, but he stopped by Peter Scudra. He took that shot right up the glass and then pumped it right to the net, and Scudra got over in a hurry to make the save on Donald Audette.
Well, Audette, there's a reason why he has been a consistent 25 goal scorer in this league, and that's because he's got great hands and great hand-eye coordination in that area right around the net. He scores most of his goals in tight.
A huge save by Scudra there on Donald Audette.
He's looked really good, and that's a good sign, and that's I think another tribute to his resiliency and his ability to really bear down and get himself straightened out.
Robbie Brown not on the Penguin bench. John Herdina out here to work on a line with Tyler Wright and Ian Moran. Brown took a shot on that first period and left the game. Ferraro on his line has Siplikov and also Pavel Rosa. Rosa in his first game in the Kings uniform had 2 goals. Right to the net, he shoots the puck, but he fanned on that one too. Stop.
Rose is only 21 years old, a 2nd-round pick in '95. He's out of Litvinov, where about seems like 90% of the Czech players who get to the National Hockey League are from Litvinov. There's something in the water there. Robert Lang is from there. He also played junior hockey at Hull, though, Mike, and I think that was really what got him in a position to come to the NHL.
Duchesne's shot almost knocked down Moran. He caught that one on the leg, but stays in the game, and he watches Herdina carry the mail back into the Los Angeles zone. John Herdina. He came out of the corner, lost his stick for a moment. Now he'll reach in again. It bounces free behind the net. Steve Duchesne to the Kings, their defenseman. Throws it on to center. Moran in a hurry to get it to Brad Wawrinka. Second period action, no score here in Pittsburgh. The Penguins and the Kings, they'll meet again January 16th at Los Angeles. Penguins will go west. Tyler Wright, turning from his own territory, looks for an avenue. Finds a street sign and goes that way and shoots it in behind goaltender Jamie Storr. Leave the puck for Gary Galley. Whips it off to the near side. Slager gets the puck and hammers it right to the net. And Storr caught it with the pads. We are 3 minutes into period number 2. The Penguins on the Los Angeles Kings. No score.
By extending their unbeaten streak to 29 games, 20-0-9. With a 5-2 win at Boston, they eventually extended their streak to 35 games, the longest in sports history.
Should have never gone that far. Should have never gone that far. The Penguins had a 1-0 game. They should have won at Philadelphia.
I was there. I mean, I was watching a game on television in Johnstown. And Terry Schiffauer were doing the game. Dave Newell was the referee, if I'm not mistaken.
Kicked the puck in. Ben Wilson kicked it in, and they allowed the goal. They ended up 1-1, and they went on to stretch that streak to 35.
Schiffy was upset, and he said, "A gutless call." I remember that. It was just
overreactive, I think. Schiff's part.
It's all right.
There's Yager towards the net. It comes off the near corner, and Straka will take the puck.
It was the Philadelphia Flyers, after all.
Flyers knew they had gotten away with one there.
Pat Quinn, by the way, the guy we saw last night in Toronto, was the coach of the Flyers during that streak.
Marty Straka. Well, take nothing away from the Flyers. They had a terrific hockey club in those years. Penguins played their hearts out that night and literally deserved to win the game, but it didn't happen. I mean, for them to get a goal, first of all, and Bernie Perron is almost unheard of.
Think of that, 35 games without a loss. It's incredible.
The Penguins still hold the record for the most consecutive wins in the National Hockey League. 17 straight wins.
Kovalev dance.
He danced one too many times. Kings finally corral it. Take his partner away. Here's Barnes with a puck though. Barnes along the right wing boards. Looking for Titov. Cut off by O'Donnell. Kovalev's going to get the puck. Nice pretty pass over to Galano. Fakes a shot. Now goes to Donald. He fakes a shot. Milesma went down. That puck block picked up by Titov. A backhander to the net, and it's stopped by J.B. Storr.
Well, that's the best shot Titov has had in a while. He got good wood to that backhand shot, and that's not an easy shot for a goaltender to read. That was a good save by Jamie Storr. Titov had only 35 shots coming into the game tonight. And you want to talk about why he isn't scoring goals. He just doesn't shoot the puck very much. But tonight he's had a couple of shots on goal. He missed the net and a good chance early in the game. And then he got a slap shot off late in the first period. And here, after Dulles makes a good play to fake a man to the ice, Titov gets that loose puck. Pulls the trigger on the backhand shot. Jamie Storr with the right pad save to keep it out of there. Still no score in this game. 15-16 to go in the second.
Kings lose the puck after the face-off. Kip Miller of the Penguins rolled it over to the right point. Moran scrambling to get back and try and get it. Paired up with Brad Wawrinka. They're still scoreless here in period number 2. The Penguins and the Los Angeles Kings. Kings completing a 3-game road trip. They'll head home and then go with a back-to-back series. Beginning the day after Christmas, they'll be at home against the Phoenix Coyotes. Now they go to Phoenix on Monday. A tough schedule coming up. Audette shot on the short side of glove by Scudra, and he reached for that paw and pulled it in. Pretty good save again by Peter Scudra. Both goaltenders shining here tonight.
What is Jim Rome going to say tonight? One thing about the last word, you know there'll be a terrific guest in the hot seat, and you know that Rome won't be shy about getting his point across. The last word, weeknights at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. Take another look at Peter Scudra.
Kings are averaging just 2.2 goals per game. Tell you, they're getting cracks at it here, though, against the Penguins. It's hard for me to believe they're not scoring goals. Because, I mean, it's taken all the moves that Scudra has to keep the Kings off the scoreboard. One where he got a break where they had a man in the crease. Joseph Stumper steers it over the corner. Audette goes in, uses the hips, but the Penguins come away with the puck, and Marty Straka, he'll dance a little bit, getting the puck to Yager. Wrist shot off the glove of Storr, and it sailed through his glove all the way to the near corner. Penguins in chasing for it. He bounces free to Rob Blake. When Yager's on the ice, you can expect Blake to be there. Los Angeles. Forsberg scoots his way into the Penguins end. Robitaille had it, but he lost control of it. And Yager again going hard against Stumple in front of Lang, and a skate save by Jamie Storr. He got his right skate on that shot by Robert Lang.
When Rob Blake cheated over to Yager there, he had two defensemen watching Yager. Lang was wide open.
Here's Blake, his chance. Playing up high, and he got that puck up too high on Scudra. Got it in the chest protector, and it fell down. He made the stop. So at either end, both goaltenders again continuing to make save after save.
Blake really did not play that play particularly well defensively. Watch, he stays with Yager. He's watching Yager the whole way. Totally lost track of Lang. And that was a great scoring chance for Robert Lang. And a great setup by Jaromir Yager. Blake kind of cheated over that way. And then Blake ends up on the other end getting a good shot right down the slot. But he just kind of shot it right up into the chest protector of Scudra.
Kovalev matchup there against Ferraro. Going back in behind the goal. And Sean O'Donnell comes down deep. Give the puck to Ferraro. O'Donnell goes back in front of the net. Penguins do get a handle on it. Maxim Galanov carries it on to center red to the King zone and shoots it into the corner. Barnes put it off a skate in front of the goal. The puck is cleared quickly by Los Angeles. And Pavel Rosa. Drop pass off to Ray Ferraro. Similar type of player, the zigzag in and out. Ferraro scored a lot of goals in the National Hockey League. Over to O'Donnell, and he couldn't hold that pass. Donald Bodger, the two defensemen. Doug Bodger was involved in the trade that brought Tom Barrasso to the Penguins 10 years ago. Left wing side, wristed by the Kings, way offline. That was Glenn Murray. Kalanov unable to clear. Kings muscling in. Good play there by Jokinen. He's got good size, and he made the shot to the net. Scudra down low to make the save, and it's much more comfortable and confident here in this second period, does Peter Scudra.
Good play by Kovalev to clean up his own end there. Looking at the defense, Kalanov was having a little trouble, and Kovalev covered up for him and got the puck out.
Dina is shouldered by Gary Galley, allowing the Kings to take possession of the puck. Opening now to Galley stumbles. He does move it quickly over to his defense partner, Steve Duchesne. And here come the Kings. And Murray's faking the shot. Drags it down the boards. Wawrinka comes after the puck. Center ice, Kip Miller. Pass to the near side over to Brad Wawrinka. He shoots it in. That's going to miss the target. Miller again looks for someone to go to. It's to Moran. Shot right up the boards on the back of the net. We get a stop in play. 11:41 to go in period number 2. The Kings and Penguins are scoreless here at Pacific Arena. Right, Jimmy? He might be sleeping. Here to center ice, it will be Robitaille. And blasted into the Penguin zone. Straka can't clear it. Can't have Audette in the corner. Look out here. Robitaille off the stick of Straka to blink and right to the net, and it's stopped by the Penguin goaltender Peter Scudra.
Slager did a good job to stay with Donald Audette there, because he was cruising around like a shark, just waiting for that loose puck to come to him. And Slager would not let him out of his sight. He was just swirling around that scoring area, Donald Audette, and that's his thing. Watching the background, you can see Slager and Audette. See Slager right with him as they go around the corner there, 71 and 34, while Scudra covers up that puck. Here's another look at it. Slager right with Audette going around the net. Here comes Audette looking in front for that puck. Slager had him tied up. Stumple was there too. Good work by Yuri Slager.
Kings have played pretty well in first periods of games, scoring teams by 4. In the second and third, though, is where they've had some problem. A -10 in the second and a -14 in the third. The Penguins' strongest period has been the second this year. And their worst is the first. Behind the net, Los Angeles Kings. Perrier tried to take a shot to the goal, and it's blocked. Alexei Kovalev. And Bilesman looking the left wing here. Titov rambling through center ice. Inside the Barnes, he tried to tee it up. Bilesman got a piece of it, checked him off the puck.
Penguins have made some adjustments in their breakout. They're letting their forwards lug the puck out. The D are setting it up on the table for them. Saw Yager do that in the first period. Titov just carried it out there. They're getting more support from their forwards deep in their own zone here tonight after having seen some teams really come after them. There's another controlled breakout for the Pens, but the Kings really don't chase the way we've seen some teams doing in the last few games. They've been just chasing defensemen out from behind that cage.
Rosa going to the ice surface here with Siplikov and Ray Ferraro. Duchesne throws it up the right wing board. Chop it away. Back to center. Ferraro got belted by Tyler Wright as he played the puck. Kessler, the Penguins on here with Miller and Tyler Wright. That was a loss. Rob Brown apparently for the rest of the night. To the Penguins then on the side of the goal, at the outside of the post. Not been working. If you're the Kings, you feel you really have a decent chance to win this hockey game now. You know the Penguins scoreless in the first period or period and a half. Very much in it.
I get that feeling it's maybe one of those games where a grinder gets it. Somebody you least expected. These kind of games sometimes turn out that way. One guy who seems to have a nose for the net tonight is German Titov. Maybe he's going to break out of that slump. He's got 19 now without a goal.
Phoenix leads in Detroit 2-1. Marianoff and Tkachuk were the first two goal scorers. We don't have the go-ahead goal. And at St. Louis, or at the Island, the Blues and Islanders remain tied to 2. Tchaikovsky with both Islander goals. And Pellerin and Marty Reisner called up. He has his third. Face off to Jamie Store's left. Kings without Stephane Fassé, who remains out with a groin pull. Really in dire straits for a while with our goaltending situation. As they brought new lines on, our time on the board says it's time to take a television break. We will do that. Stu Barnes of the Pens getting a lot more ice time tonight with the injury situation for the Penguins. We are still scoreless here in period number 2. Snaggy and I would like to wish each and every one of you a very happy holiday season. Getting the break. This is the 4th game in 6 nights for the Kings, the 3rd and 4 for the Penguins. Both are playing pretty well despite the tail end of it. Moran on to Danny Kessler, and he backhands it into the Kings zone.
Kings 11 games under 500. I was talking to Harry Neal yesterday in Toronto. He said, I've always had the theory that if you're within 8 games of 500 at Christmas time, you've got a chance to make the playoffs. He said, but any worse than that, and I think you're not going to make it. So they're 11 games behind. They need this game very badly.
Robert Lang of the Penguins trying to dish it in front, and he can't do it. I was thinking today, just coming down to the arena, we may have to be 5 or 7 or maybe 8 or 9 over 500 to make the playoffs.
Amazing, isn't it? As opposed to being able to, exactly. So that would mean they'd have to make up how many games? 17 games in the 4th of June. That's fine.
Yager in front of the net, and he can't feed it towards a goal.
It might be different in the West than it is in the East.
Well, it's just it really doesn't change any because you've got the same amount of teams making it. You know, I know what you're saying as far as that, but you got to play pretty good hockey to make it. Yager to the goal, and it did not get in the 5-hole between the legs of Jamie Storr. He keeps it out of there. Let's just look and see for a moment what the 8th team in the West would be and what the 8th team in the East. And the East has had the upper hand so far in this season. The 8th team in the East right now that would make the playoffs, that would be the Ottawa Senators. They're 2 games above 500 and they have 31 points. The 8th team in the Northwest, or the Western Conference, would be Calgary, and they're 4 games under 500.
A little different in the West.
Yeah.
The Kings are, they have a sniff right now because of the fact that it's not as competitive. We talked to Rob Blake about that today, and they're well aware of it. I mean, they're trying to get themselves straightened out, and injuries have played a role in their problems early in the season. They surprised a lot of people last year. They really made a turnaround from the year before.
They finished what, 5 over 500 last year? Intercepted by the Los Angeles Kings. Robitaille Hits the Penguin blue line and shoots the puck in. 7:07 to go here in the second period. Still scoreless. Barnes is going to take the puck. Relay it ahead to Titoff into open space back for Barnes, and he runs into Bodger. He doesn't get to the puck.
The Kings really did a good job last year, Mike. They only finished one game under 500 on the road. That's a real tribute to their team because it's not easy for them traveling. For them to do that kind of a job on the road, under the duress that they experience from a travel standpoint, is pretty impressive.
Sean O'Donnell connecting to center ice. Stumple's going to spin the puck into the Penguins end. He'll go quickly now to the Kings bench as they make changes on the move. Penguins go the other way. Galley avoiding Dan Kessler. Kessler goes back into the corner to get the puck. Galley gives a good body check in on him. Around the boards, Kip Miller, Wright, and Kessler, the trio for the Penguins. Siplikov is going to get there first. Outlet to Pavel Rosa was good speed. He can't make the play. It came off his skates. Right, charging right back into the Los Angeles zone. Right on one leg as he's hooked momentarily. Lost the puck. He runs into Gary Gallant. Right is like a bulldozer in a construction yard. He does hit anything and moves. Tyler Wright. It's offside against the Kings if they touch it, and they do. 5:37. The Kings have the lead in shots on goal, 17-16. Both teams have had opportunities to take the lead in this game, but it hasn't happened. For the Penguins Saturday night, Ottawa will be here. You can join us in person for that one.
Tyler Wright really competed last night for the Penguins late in the game, getting in a couple of scraps with Darby Hendrickson. Coming out here and getting a chance to show what he can do here in the second period. He only played a little bit of hockey in the first period tonight. Only 26 seconds. He had only one shift. With Kevin Constantine getting him more involved, and now Jaromir Jagr goes to the locker room one more time with Penguins equipment manager Steve Lattin. And last night in the airport when we were going through customs, Jagr said something to Steve Lattin about his skates for this morning. He didn't come to the rink, but he wanted Stevie to work on his skates for something. So apparently he's still not totally satisfied with what happened. He's back in there to get some more work on.
Straka's stick, and Kovalev's going to take the right wing spot here, replacing Jagr momentarily. Robert Lang around to Straka, now back to Alexei Kovalev. Rolls it to Yuri Slager with the Penguins. Is he going to come in deep? He does, and as he did, a shot was blocked, and the Kings break back. They've got an odd man break, a 4-on-2. Looking at the Penguins in, Glenn Murray, and back checking quickly was Yuri Slager to get back and break it up for a moment. In front of the net, and the Penguins gather it in. Murray and Robert Lang collide. Kovalev takes the puck into the King zone. A wrist shot way wide of the cage. Straka to the right side of Kevin Hatcher. Gets it on the net. Storer makes that stop, and a rebound jumps right to the stick of Glenn Murray. Center Randy rifles it into the Penguin zone. Hatcher just knocked down Bilesman of the Kings. Bodger takes the puck. He'll slam it offline. Nobody can seem to hit the target. Tyler Wright will give it a go here as he goes to Barnes. That puck in behind Jamie Storer, and he gave it away to Tyler Wright. Wright read it well. This is Barnes taking the pass. He was muscled on the play by the Kings LaPerriere, but a penalty coming up here against Sean O'Donnell. Reacting to Tyler Wright, he gets the call, and the Kings are going to be short-handed.
O'Donnell led the Kings last year with 57 minor penalties. I don't know if that's a good thing to want to have in the stats. That's not a good penalty there. Trivia question is, who is the only coach in Kings history other than Larry Robinson who lasted more than 3 seasons? Pulley back in 72 to 77. It's amazing. Bob Pulford. You don't last a whole lot of years in the National Hockey League as a coach.
Those are the leaders.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out to be coincidental minors to both Tyler Wright and Sean O'Donnell. So the Kings have yet to take a penalty in this game. And they played very disciplined hockey against the Penguins. Recognizing the potency of the Penguin power play, but it has not been something to write home about here of late. The Kings respecting that several times. The perception in front of the goal. Kovalev can't get it. It's a 4-on-4 situation right now. The Kings have a goal, and they've allowed one 4-on-4. The Penguins have yet to score a goal 4-on-4 this year. They've given up one. Kovalev turns it back over to Maxim Galana. Penguins here with the two Russians working up front. Galana and Dallas on the backside. Kovalev, a little drop pass over to Titov to the net. That stop is made. Kovalev gets it to Germán Titov. Cancer going to the goal, and it's deflected wide. And again, the Kings scoop it up. Joseph Stumple. Minute to go in the coincidental minors. On the left side to Duchesne in a scoreless game here at the Civic Arena. Duchesne right towards the goal, deflected. Missed goaltenders Peter Skudra. Titov gathers it in behind the cage. On the left side, he goes to Brad Wawrinka. Yager hits the ice. He got back on for the Penguins. Wrist to the head. To him in a backhand shot. That avoided Storr. Yager again on the puck quickly, but controlled by Los Angeles. Moran has to backpedal to his own territory. And Wawrinka paired defensively for the Penguins. Pass on to Robert Lang. Now to Jokinen. He steers the puck around to the near corner. Luke Robitaille around the horn and go. Kings will try and break out. The penalties expire. O'Donnell comes on. So does Wright. Slap hard to the Penguin goal, and Scooter is going to stop that puck and keep it there. We'll hold on to it. So again, looking at the situation, we've had two penalties to the Penguins. Both of those came in the first period, and again, the Kings have not taken a penalty to give the Penguins a power play in this game.
Yeah, we really haven't seen very many good scoring opportunities in this second period. Very close checking affair right now.
I think we did earlier, Staggy. Early on, the first 5 minutes, Audette, and the Penguins had a couple of chances in tight on Storr, but since that time,
probably had the best chance on the backhand shot. Now Ian Moran took his turn to go down the runway. The runway is a busy place today.
I think they got Christmas cookies down there. That's where you were, weren't you? On the break? Just have cookies down there. Everybody's going off to get a little food. You can see everybody. Here's Murray. Shot score right from the face-off. Glenn Murray snaps it over the shoulder of goaltender Scudder, and the Kings take a 1-0 lead. Well, Murray got it back. He had one disallowed in period number 1, but he snapped that one off after the face-off win, and it's 1-0 Los Angeles.
Well, the Penguins traded him for Eddie Olczyk. And he just broke the Penguins' heart so many times, Glenn Murray, because he had more scoring opportunities. He's one of those guys that he could have had 50 goals. He had so many chances. And now it just seems to, everything seems to have come into focus for him, where now when he gets a chance, he buries it. That's a good shot. And right off the draw, too, he wasted no time. It's 1-0 Los Angeles. When you go that long without getting a first goal, man, the first goal is that much bigger. That's a huge goal for the Los Angeles Kings on the road.
I thought he put it on his glove hand, but he just blew it right through him. So Ray Ferraro has the only assist on the goal, and it's 1-0 Kings. Well, he really got rid of that puck in a hurry. Glenn Murray did.
He's got a great shot, too.
No, he's got all. He has
jumps
everything
off his blade. Yep, he does. He's got it all. Size, speed, shot.
He's really quick, too. He's a big man. He can take the punishment. He can play a lot of years in the National Hockey League. High in the air. To be honest with you, there's no telling how good he can be. In front, another score. The King Siplikov makes it 2-0. Glenn Murray set him up. And just like that, the Penguins are in a big hole. This time it's Vladimir Siplikov set up by Glenn Murray. And Murray making a pass there to show another side of his game. It was 27 seconds after Murray scored.
The Penguins had Wawrinka out of position, Galana behind the net, Barnes at the side of the net. The Penguins were trying to challenge. Their system is to kind of hold the post when they have a man behind the net, force him one way or the other. But when you have three guys all looking at the man behind the net and not taking anybody in front, you got problems. Nobody had Siplikov. He was wide open.
So they scored twice in a span of 27 seconds, and the Kings trying to make it 2 wins in a row on the road. Here's Jaromir Jagr of the Penguins. Looking for the puck. And we've got a whistle here and a penalty coming up. This looks like it'll be against the Kings, their first of the night. Tyus Nordstrom's going to be headed off, apparently. Holding the stick on him.
Problem with that play, Mike, was that the Penguins, I think that they lost track of the fact or didn't realize that Galanov was behind the net. So that meant in that situation that only one player really should have been paying attention to what was happening behind the goal other than Galanov. And somebody should have had Siplikov in front of the goal. It was a breakdown, but now we get a penalty for holding the stick to Mattias Nordstrom, and the Penguins do get a power play chance and an opportunity to maybe get some life for themselves going to the locker room to cut the lead to 2-1 on the power play. We'll see what happens. And don't forget, the Kings do score a lot of shorthanded goals.
They lead the league. They've got 9 of them. And Murray, Perreault, and Siplikov, Perreault not playing tonight, all have 2 each. The Penguins have to go back into their own end to get the puck. There's a 5-2-5 on home ice. Straka looking for some room. Siplikov's goal, by the way, his 7th of the year. We've got a minute to go, and the Penguins have to chase at center. Straka feeds it over to Jaromir Jagr. He'll look for Germán Titov. Titov cuts in, run it goes for Barnes, and he can't get it behind the goaltender. Moves the puck over to Hatcher, left side to Barnes. And the Kings are all over him. Goaltender Scudero get the biscuit to Kevin Hatcher. He's trying to change their penalty territory. Here's Hatcher feeding off to Kovalev, offside against the Penguins. They stop the action again. The Penguins played last night in Toronto. The Kings had the extra day's rest coming from Chicago. The Kings look like they have a little confidence. That win in Chicago, got them going again.
I'll tell you, Rob Blake makes a huge difference to this team too. Just his presence.
Well, they were 3-15 without him.
It's not so much what he does, as just having his presence there. It's his leadership. He gives other guys confidence, and I guess that's the definition of a leader. You don't necessarily have to score goals or score points all the time. It's just being around makes a difference.
Kovalev to Robert Lang. The Penguins have the power play the rest of the period. Time running down, though, 8 seconds. There's Kovalev in front for Jagr. It goes wide to Hatcher. And his shot towards the net stop. Lang on the rebound. And Storr scrambles to make the save with 1.2 seconds left. I don't know if Storr knocked that original play down or not, but it did come out to Robert Lang, who teed it up. Second intermission. We'll have Stan Sabourin back with you. Shot by Hatcher. Yes, it did come off Storr.
Storr able to get over, scramble over to make the save on the rebound. Well, earlier in the year, I watched a game against Colorado for Los Angeles where Fiset had pulled a groin. And Storr came in to replace him, and then he pulled a groin on one of the first shots he faced. It was late in the game, and he had to play the rest of the game. He could hardly walk, let alone play goal.
Penguins have pulled their goaltender with 1.2 seconds left here. Taking advantage of a situation. They actually have a 2-man advantage, and skating-wise, LaPerriere is going for a long skate. They don't seem to know where they want to go. Penguins won the draw. They got to hurry to get rid of it, and they don't in time. Jagr did get it on the net, but it would have been too late. The Los Angeles Kings with 2 late second period goals have the lead over the Penguins 2-0. To find out the latest from the sports world, let's go to the Fox Network Center.
Sony PlayStation presents this Fox Sports News Sports Break.
Hi, everybody. Along with Lauren Sanchez, I'm John Walls of Fox Sports News with this Sports Break. A third of the way into its 3rd year, the ABL has folded, leaving the WNBA as the only women's professional basketball league.
And Roger Clemens withdraws his trade demand and is prepared to report to spring training with the Blue Jays if a trade is not worked out. News and highlights nightly on Fox Sports News.
Right here on Fox Sports Net.
When we created NHL Face-Off 99, we spent months getting every detail just right, even the crowd chants.
Hold on. Either we're into it or we're not.
Yeah.
Let's go Red Wings. Stop. Let's
a lot of people wanted to be here today. We picked you guys because we thought you're special. Right. You know, if you put that kind of commitment into your singing.
Let's go Red Wings!
Sounds good. I think we got it. You can call us perfectionists, but you know, it's all worth it.
Let's go Red Wings!
This holiday, more people are choosing Lowe's, and here's why.
Lowe's is a perfect place for practical presents. Like power tools from all the top brand names. That's pretty practical. And now Lowe's carries world-class Cobalt tools. They're the finest mechanics tools you'll find at any store.
Lowe's has something for everyone on your list. And guaranteed everyday low prices, too.
When it comes to perfectly practical presents, Lowe's knows.
Now get 25% off holiday decorations and artificial trees.
It's your team. It's your choice. The new Support Your Pens plan makes it easy. Choose any 3 regular season home games and save 10%. So support your Pens and see 3 games of your choice for as little as $54.
Right time, right.
Announcing a special Plymouth Neon year-end event. Now on Plymouth Neon and only Plymouth Neon. Get this special low 1.9% finance rate for up to 60 months with no monthly payment due for 90 days. Or get a cash allowance of $1,500. That's the sporty 132 horsepower Plymouth Neon. Now with a special low finance rate. No payment for 90 days or $1,500 in cash allowance. Only for a limited time. Only on Plymouth Neon. Only at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Ken, you okay?
Oh, sure, fine. Just fell down, all.
That is the great thing about this league. No one ever gets hurt.
Yeah.
In the NHL, they get contusions.
Sure. But us, we can play forever and never have to worry about getting hurt, eh?
That's right. Certainement. We'll never go on the DL. No.
Never be traded, eh?
No. Never be released.
No. Never win a Stanley Cup.
Oh.
Never date a supermodel, eh?
I'm dating them all the time, Mr. Sissy Pants.
Senators Penn, Saturday at 7:30 on Fox Sports Pittsburgh.
It's been more than 2 months since the Penguins lost back-to-back hockey games. They are in grave danger of doing so tonight, trailing the Los Angeles Kings 2-0. You know, Glenn Murray is a coach and general manager heartbreaker. He's got tremendous size and speed and great skill for his size, but he never seemed to be able to put it together, at least not here in Pittsburgh or Boston. Give Ray Ferraro credit. He won the faceoff to get the puck to Glenn, who beat Peter Scooter, who played very well up until that point. Murray, just a guy you always thought would break out. He never did until last year in Los Angeles. And again, Murray, size and speed and a good passer, because he's got those good hands, gets the puck to Vladimir Seiflikov, and that gives the Kings a 2-0 lead, 2 goals in 27 seconds space, and that has the Kings on top. Elsewhere in the National Hockey League tonight, a big game going on in Phoenix, or in Detroit against Phoenix. Phoenix has taken the lead in that one 3-2. Mariusz Czerkowski has both goals for the Islanders, and they are tied with the St. Louis Blues at 2 apiece. Vancouver's in Calgary. That game just getting underway. Ditto Anaheim and Colorado. In their 31 games this year, make it 32, the Los Angeles Kings have had the third period lead in just 10 games. However, keep hope. They've lost 3 of those 10 games. Doesn't happen very often in the NHL. When we come back, Santa, we'll have the local college basketball scores. All the Division I teams are playing.
I'm so happy, I'm floating on cloud 9. I'm so happy, I'm feeling swell, life is so sublime.
Imagine feeling this good about your car insurance bill.
So gosh darn incredibly happy.
That's happy, baby. Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Dodge Intrepid's styling speaks for itself. As for what's underneath, car and driver had a few words of their own. Lease a well-equipped Intrepid for as low as $269 a month.
If you want to get a better read on sports, get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Writing in Pittsburgh is great because this is a sports town. My writing is like the way Darius Kasparaitis plays hockey, hard-hitting.
I just want to step away from that narrow focus that you get in sports and try to be something you can't get on a stat sheet.
Yeah, I wish I had a nickel for everybody that came out to me and said how the Steelers are looking this year. When I tell them the Steelers are looking real big.
Call 1-800-909-TRIB to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Due to circumstances beyond our control, tonight's game is canceled.
Take your skates off, eh?
What's up, Coach?
The game's postponed. What? What do you mean? Some guy came in with a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. Oh, they're good. It was so hot, the ice melted. Again? Oh, for the love of Pete.
Wendy's spicy chicken is a whole breast filet seasoned with Dave's own blend of pepper and spices. It's one hot sandwich.
That's the second time this week, Dave.
Sorry.
Wendy's spicy chicken. When you're hot, you're hot.
Loving spoonful going on there with the Penguins playing here at the Igloo College basketball just before the holiday break and the post-Christmas holiday tournaments. All 4 Division I teams are playing tonight with only 3 games, which would tell you, Einstein, that 2 are playing each other. Pitt with a record of 7-4, beating Howard easily. 4 minutes to play in that one. By the way, Howard came into that game at the Fieldhouse with a record of 0-8. Duquesne loses. They drop to 4-6. They lose to the Golden Griffins of Canisius. They play at the Marine Midland Center where the Sabres play. 88-71 the final there. And Robert Morris, off to a good start under Jim Boone, goes down to Morgantown, but the Mountaineers, who struggled early on, handle them 82-67. Tomorrow night on Sports Beat, Nolan Harrison will join us, the Steeler defensive end who strained his hamstring again Sunday afternoon. It'll be his final appearance of the year as the Steelers season will end next Monday night. Also, Bob Spizek, the columnist for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, will be on board with us to talk about a variety of subjects. Again, the Kings have blown 3 third-period leads, so keep the faith. It is Christmas time, a time for miracles. We'll be back with the third period in just a moment.
Penguin fans, register for the Hills Flyaway with the Penguins contest. You could win a trip for 2 to see the Pens take on Colorado on February 25th and Dallas on February 26th. The lucky winner gets a $100 Hills gift certificate, hotel accommodations, round-trip airfare, and tickets to the games. The grand prize winner will be announced during the Penguin telecast on February 13th. Other prizes...
Answer is bumped hard by Rob Blake, and the puck sails around to the near corner. Penguins with Barnes, Yager, and Titov working, and the point men will be Straka and Kevin Hatcher. Barnes trying to go rink wide. It's deflected away, and the Kings have it. Here they come. Joseph Stumple wristing one towards a goal. Scooter's going to stop it. It gets away from him, but Straka gets the puck. 11 seconds to go in the penalty to the Los Angeles Kings. Here's Nordstrom in that penalty box. He's ready to come out. They open the gate. He hits the ice. The Penguins have failed to score on their 1 power play chance. They have it, though, around the net. Titov has rammed hard as he went to pull the trigger, and Nordstrom takes control of the puck. Up to Vladimir Sipnikov. Sipnikov to the Penguins, then to jump right off a Scooter, and he reaches out and pulls it in. He shakes his head. I don't know why that puck sometimes comes so quickly off of him. You notice how it just jumps off his body? And I don't think he can figure it out right now. I just saw him react after the puck jumped away as if to say, stop it. Don't do that anymore. I can't believe it. To see how quick it comes off his body.
See? Well, one of the reasons might be, Mike, I think when your timing's on, you kind of look the puck into your pads. It's just like in baseball, you look the ball into your glove. And when it's not happening, it's getting away from you. You're not reacting to it and just kind of absorbing the shot. You're fighting it a little bit. And I think that's probably the reason. It's just timing is all it is. He just hasn't played in game conditions enough.
Maxim Galanov's going to take the puck. Spin it to center ice. The Kings with the lead here going to the third period. Riley works it down the board. Kings will return home. They've got an all-night flight headed back to Los Angeles. As I said, they've got Phoenix coming up. They should be in pretty good position if they win this game here in Pittsburgh. They'll probably feel pretty good about themselves going home to meet the Coyotes. Coming out here with Craig Johnson. They kind of changed their style a little bit here. If you look at it, Stangy, they're not forechecking as much as they weren't heavy on the forecheck, but they seem to kind of clog up the middle here against the Penguins right now.
Why not? When you've got a 2-goal lead in a game that's been as tight as this, that's a bonanza for the Kings. Scored 70 goals coming into this game. Only one team in the West had scored fewer, San Jose, with only 62 goals.
San Jose basically has traded all their goal scorers away. And a lot of them gone out of San Jose. They still have some pretty good talent there. The puck is whistled up into the King zone. It's going to be called back on a 2-line pass against the Penguins.
Tyler Wright's getting an opportunity to play quite a bit of hockey tonight for the Penguins. There's Robbie Brown on the shelf. Didn't get any word on what happened to him definitively, but it was pretty obvious. He was hit with a shot, and like it went off the ankle or the instep.
What was the crowd tonight? Well, the 171. I got the last 3 numbers. 13,171. It's Tuesday night. And Brad Wawrinka with the puck for the Penguins behind his own net. Dino rolled it on the center. Sean O'Donnell broke it up. Kings again now go after the puck deep in the Penguins end. Rosa comes out for Brad Wawrinka. Arthur at the left point, slamming it behind the net. Kings are playing with confidence right now. Comes to Bodger again. Heavy shot right off Skudra. Jumps up in the air. The Kings get it one more time. They're on the puck first. They're working hard here. Siplikov in between the circles. Broken up by the Penguins. Dan Kesson. At center, it is blasted back to the Kings' goal. Jamie Storr. Perfect so far tonight against the Penguins. Murray pulls up in the Penguin zone. Slides it down the boards to Joseph Stumple, the King. Hatcher smothers him with a body. And Straka comes over to help out. And they relay it up now to Robert Lang. And offside against the Penguins. It was Yager on the right wing ahead of the play. We'll be back in Pittsburgh in just a moment. The Kings lead here 2-0.
When we created NHL Faceoff 99, we spent months getting every deep.
Joseph Stumple. A slap shot that went right over the head of Peter Skudra. Penguins get to the loose puck. Backhand pass over to Straka. Now Yager gets the puck, wristed towards the goal. Blocked in front by Rob Blake. Hatcher's got it. And he shoots that puck. Straka was knocked down and was denied by the Los Angeles Kings. Luc Robitaille finds Joseph Stumple. Over to Audette. Here he comes right in on goal. And Slinger playing goaltender makes the stop by Donald Audette. And Audette can't believe it as he looks to the sky.
I'm not sure that puck was going in. It looked like it was coming on an angle back out towards the goal mouth area, or towards the goal crease. But what a play by Joseph Stumple. This is why he led their team in points last year and why he was so good as a playmaker. He found Audette coming late. He made about 5 moves on Skudra, and the puck came out to where Slager could cut it off, more or less. I don't think that thing was going in, though.
Hit Skudra's arm and then on to Slager.
But it was going towards Luc Robitaille, who was right in front.
And O'Donnell now flips the puck in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Craig Johnson of the Kings. Can't tee it up to get the shot off, and the Penguins gather it in. And Alexei Kovalev, 2-0 Los Angeles. The Penguins certainly within range in this game still. He'd like to get himself a goal to put some pressure back on the Kings. Continues to lead Detroit 3-2 in the third. Vancouver with a 2-1 lead over Calgary at Calgary in the first period. St. Louis and the Islanders tied at 2. Game in the third period at New York. This one a 2-0 Los Angeles lead. Kovalev to the goal, not much on that. And Jamie Storr reaches down to take the puck and keep it in his paw. And you see Kovalev, who has 9 points in the 10 games that he has played in the Penguin uniform. Just check here and see how Peter Nedved's doing. He was off to a great start for the New York Rangers.
Kovalev was just checking his hand. He kind of got whacked on the hand. There he goes, right there. Ouch. Glenn Murray, who did the honors.
Peter Nedved in 12 games with the Rangers has 14 points. He is a -4 with New York since joining the club. And Mr. Kovalev has 6 goals and 10 assists. He's a -6. He's a -2 in a Penguin uniform. Looking at overall stance on the year, Kovalev certainly has played more games than Peter Nedved. And Yager of the Penguins. That is on the year. Yager finds Straka. It's going to be an offside play. Straka had the puck hit him and then go outside and come back in with him in the zone.
Well, you love to see Yager wind it up like that in his own end. He really had speed coming through the neutral zone, and then he decided to pass the puck to Straka on the wing, and the play just didn't click. Now, that's one time when you would think Yager might be able to do some of his magic if he hangs on to that puck and carries it across the blue line, because he did have fabulous speed coming to the line.
Maggie, this is going to be a dumb question, and I should know this because I didn't look today. Does Stumpfel play with the Czech Republic?
He's a Slovak.
Slovak, okay. That's right. Did not play and compete for the gold medal with the Czech Republic. Won last year. And the puck out of action. Luc Robitaille on here for the Los Angeles Kings. Many of you know, played for the Penguins for 1 year and a very popular figure here in Pittsburgh. The Kings have been in the National Hockey League for 32 years. And they have had a man score 4 goals in a game twice. And it's Luc Robitaille. He's the only one. He scored 4 goals at home and 4 on the road in separate games. One against the Hartford Whalers at home and the other one against Calgary, I think it is, in the game they won.
They have not been without prolific scorers throughout their history either.
No, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Robitaille is the only 4-goal scorer in their entire history.
Great Triple Crown line. We would have thought that might have happened. Cami Granato is now the color commentator on the radio broadcast for the Los Angeles Kings. She was the captain of the U.S. women's team that won the gold medal in Nagano. And there she is with Nick Nixon. And there she is this morning. After practice, she went out and joined the players who were scratched and the coaches who play a little game of shinny hockey just to keep themselves in shape. Mary Robinson. Cross-check on her. That is the sister, of course, of Tony Granato, who played for the New York Rangers and now plays with the San Jose Sharks.
And an even more famous gentleman. So her immediate, you're right on your TV screen, is Nick Nixon, who is the broadcaster radio-wise for the Los Angeles Kings. He's been there 17 years. He celebrated a birthday yesterday, too.
One-time PA announcer at Dodger Stadium.
Come through center ice, and Kovalev unable to make it go. And again, the Penguins do jam it into the Kings zone. Titov looking for the puck. Kovalev follows on. 2-0 Los Angeles. The Penguins looking to put lightning themselves, and a shot by Titov, kicked out of there by Jamie Storr. Murray carries the mail in again. Poking around to the near boards. Galley pinched in. Sitnikov covered his spot on defense, and the puck sent around to the right wing corner. 13:45 left here in regulation. Penguins down by 2 here against the Kings. Kovalev has been on a lot here now in this third period for the Penguins. For a little offense to get it going. Stu Barnes. The Penguins had 1 last night against the Kings. We haven't seen Jan Hrdina since he went off either. He's been gone out of this game. So the Penguins, he's on here now. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. Dini got hurt earlier too, but he has survived that apparently. Robbie Brown left the game after taking a shot in the first period. Twisted by LaPerriere. The Penguins stopped that maneuver. Not much room for the Penguins to work with there. Just had a pretty good chance to score against Jamie Storr. This is Barnes off the chest of Sean O'Donnell. It's off his body, and we stop once again.
Well, the Penguins have not lost 2 in a row since October 24th. They've lost on October 21st and the 24th.
Penguin fans, register for the Hills Flyaway with the Penguins contest. You could win a trip for two to see the Pens take on Colorado on February 25th and Dallas on February 26th. The lucky winner gets a $100 Hills gift certificate, hotel accommodations, round-trip airfare, and tickets to the games. The grand prize winner will be announced during the Penguin telecast on February 13th. Other prizes include a Gold Circle box for a Penguins home game, Hills gift certificates, and more. Visit a Hills team shop for details and entries.
It was troubling for Nostradamus when he would foresee wars, plagues, and disasters. But what really broke him up was predicting Triple Crown winners and not having a call-a-bet account. Bigfoot was a big wagerer who wanted to keep a low profile, but he was often seen leaving tracks. With call-a-bet, he could have bet every major track in the U.S. without ever leaving his cave. Call 1-800-LADBROKE to open your account.
Murray has been the hero of the night for the Los Angeles Kings. He has a goal and an assist. Our game summary brought to you by U.S. Healthcare.
I'll tell you, the Kings have had success in this building, 4-5-1 in their last 10 games here. That's a pretty good record at the Civic Arena. Not an easy place to win in the NHL.
Looked at the make on the ice. Laker's going to get back and touch it first to get the icing call, and he does. Not an easy chore.
Kings tied the Penguins last year on opening night, you remember, Kevin Constantine's first game behind the bench. And then they went out to Los Angeles and beat the Kings 2-1. Glenn Murray's hair is blonde. I don't know if did we talk about that?
No, I didn't.
Their teammates challenged him to dye their hair, a couple of players, and he's one of them. And if you look closely, you can see that his hair is now that blonde color, like the surfers, you know? Out there in California, it looks like he should be playing in Green Day or something.
Well, that's it. Muzz has gone off the deep end. Here's Yager with the puck. These folks know about that. Slager with it. Slap shot to the net. That's off the stick of Jamie Storr.
Penguins are a funny team. They get one here, and a lot of things could change dramatically off the one goal. They've got to get one behind Jamie Storr.
Trying to steer the puck in towards Scudera. He will. Peter gloves it and has possession of it.
A lot of face-offs in this game.
(25-24) the shots on goal. Pittsburgh with the advantage. They trail on the scoreboard 2-0.
Kovalev has made a couple of plays tonight where he moves the puck between his legs to trailers or to himself. He really is a magician with the puck.
Well, show us some magic, Alexei. Pull the rabbit out of the hat, score 3 yourself. Send everybody home happy. Here's Galano. Not too bad. All in a week's work. Kings have something to say about that. And O'Donnell can't hold it into the right point. Sets the table up for Doug Bodger. Kovalev races in to put pressure on him. O'Donnell wraps it around the wood, and out it goes. Less than 12 left in regulation. This is Maxim Galano. Off the stick of Titov, giving the puck to Kip Miller. Circles around to the left point. And they just follow him and take it away. O'Donnell has played a strong game tonight for Los Angeles. John O'Donnell. In front of the Penguin goal, going right by Scudera. The Kings have it though. Stumple looking for Robitaille. He's dangerous anytime he's on the ice. Luke. Lucky Luke. Almost without a stick. Moves it with his hand. Miller has to jam it back behind the goal. Galanov took a whack at it. And he sends that one a 9-iron airborne. Get another face-off in the Penguin zone.
Well, Kip Miller turning back to the blue line on that last rush, and I think the Penguins, if they're going to get a goal now, I mean, if they're going to really have to earn it the hard way. They're going to have to drive to the net. They're going to have to shoot the puck, look for rebounds, and get into the scoring areas and get their noses dirty. I don't think you're going to have too many fancy plays now. The Kings are just playing too defensive a style right now to be able to make those kinds of plays.
Staggy, I talked to you yesterday about my sheet that I picked up in Canada.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I'm within range of going 4 for 4. Yep. There's Siplicott. That's legalized gambling up there, folks.
That would be 4 losses. Is that right? That's right,
4.
because you picked the Penguins. That's right, last night.
Here's Galley with the puck.
You can't pick with your heart. You know that.
Right by Varenka.
Now that's a great game. I mean, they have it in Quebec too. Bet on hockey games up there, or just go right to the local convenience store and pick up your ticket.
Varenka takes the puck and slams it in. Well, they get you in a lot of ways. I mean, I did it as a kind of a lark to have some fun with it, but they make you bet a minimum of 3 games. First of all, you have to win all 3 to win your bet. Everything is contrived for the house, if you will, to win the money, and they do win the money.
That's why it's a lottery. It's just helping out those provinces in Canada.
And the people on the street need every dollar you have in your pocket. Everywhere you go. Here's Yacht from behind the net.
Look out.
Scudra is jammed in and he cradles that puck and holds onto it. The Kings again buzzing around the Penguins' goal.
Not a lot of life in this game. I'll tell you, this is the kind of game where you need a guy like Darius Kasparaitis to maybe throw a hit, just do something to get the crowd into it and get some kind of a spark. There's no energy right now. Nothing happening that's going to get people excited. Yager getting a little confused at his own end there, and the puck squirted right out in front. Johnson hammering away at it.
I'll tell you, Scudra had to be very alert to keep that puck underneath him. Rob Blake towards the cage. That miss. Yager really has been a non-factor in this game. An absolute non-factor. He hasn't even been involved. It's rare you'll see that through the length of the game. The Yager really doesn't even become a threat at any time during the contest. There's a pass to Robert Lang. Up to Jaromir Jagr. On to Marty Straka. Back to Jagr. He shoots the puck. That'll be blocked again. Johnson's pass. Connecting to Glenn Murray. Look out. The opening goes back to Murray in front. And Johnson right there, and he couldn't steer it in. Turning around is Blake. The Kings are all over the Penguins right now. They could sense they got this game. If they can score another one, they can put it away. Glenn Murray, he's trying to do that. He muscles in against Marty Straka. It's another facet of his game. He is big and strong, too. Glenn Murray to the right side to Blake. Snapping around back to Glenn Murray. Hatcher trying to poke it up the boards and out. He can't do it. The Kings have it again. And guess who's got it? Yep, 27. Murray, they give it right back to him in front. Man going to the goal. And Blake can't get to it.
Slager broke that up.
This is Jagr trying to find some room.
To the net, to the net.
There's Straka coming down the lane, and he fires it, and Blake blocked that. The Robitaille of the Kings. Feeds it over to Stumple. Drop pass. Audette with a slapper. And that missed the cage. Go right over the head of Peter Scudra. Stumple to Donald Audette. 8:25 to go in the third. 2-0 Los Angeles. Titov drags it out of danger. There's a right wing pass to Alexei Kovalev. Donald's there. He popped it up, though, to Titov. Donald works him over with a body and gets the puck back. That's what he can do with that size, boy. He can just kind of manhandle you. Make the play and get the puck out of danger. Titov's pass finds a breaking Kovalev. Goes in, circles around against Bodger. Trying to go to the right side to Kip Miller. Kings take it away. Eddie Bilesman for Los Angeles. He'll drill the puck into the Penguin zone. Show collides with Varenka, and from behind the Penguin net. Perrier to the left point to Gary Galley of the Kings. This shot, everybody's all over the ice as Moran collided with Bilesman. Kings again keep the puck in, and they are working feverishly here on short shifts. Trying to keep the Penguins bottled up. They're doing a pretty good job. They're in sync right now, the Kings. And Rosa steals. Varenka had given it away. Siplicott. Kings would have more jump, more leg. Yeah, they absolutely do. Siplicott trying to come in. Looking for Ray Ferraro. Ferraro behind the goal. Round to the left point. And a heavy shot stopped by Scudra. Penguins to keep him out of the zone if they can. Siplikov. Marinka put a bullet pass around the near wing, trying to get it away from the net. It's Los Angeles on the move. Here's Ferraro. Again with a right side delivery. Cut off by the Penguins, Ian Moran. Looks for Barnes. And stopped by the Kings, Steve Duchesne. Murray's right back on. Heavy blast to the net. Scootra has the puck. Tyler Wright takes a little run at Ray Ferraro behind the net. We'll be back. 2-0 Los Angeles.
Payback playback is Glenn Murray's goal off the faceoff. Penguins went the wrong way. Puck came to Murray. Everybody's backing off, and Murray wide open just blew it inside between the arm and the body of Peter Scudra. Muzz scoring the first goal of the game and then setting up the second one from behind the net. Siplikov, 2-0.
Round Blake right to the goal, and they stop, and the rebound jumps right by Glenn Murray's stick.
Murray's flying all over the ice tonight.
Yes, he is. I'll go with the Penguins. Intercepted by 27, Glenn Murray. Jokinen delivers the puck to Craig Johnson, who will wind it in behind the Penguin goal. Under 6 minutes to go. A giveaway by Yager. Here comes Audette. He shoots and scores. It's 3-0 Los Angeles. Donald Audette. That'll be an unassisted goal. As Jaromir Jagr gave it right to him, and he walked down the lane, and that may have sealed it up.
I'll tell you, they're loving that. They're loving that in La La Land. That was a beautiful play by Donald Audette. Not such a good play by Jaromir Jagr because he threw the puck right up the middle, and Audette slipped it right behind Yuri Slager, and then a quick shot. He wasted no time. What a beautiful shot over the glove of Peter Scudra. So Audette with 2 goals in 2 games. He scored the first goal for the Kings the other night against Chicago in their win. And he scores, I guess, the clinching goal, as you could call it, here.
Truth be known, the Kings probably should have scored before that. They've just been all over the Penguins here in this third period. If they finally get one, they probably will ice it away for them. Audette lost the puck, though, and the Penguins keep Miller. And the Penguins looking for some late magic here if they can. But they got a long way to go to get back into this game. Especially the way the Kings are playing right now.
I remember Eddie Johnson used to talk so much about wanting his team to be on the road at Christmas time. He thought that was just so much better because players weren't as distracted by their families being in town and all the other things that you think about during the holidays. The Kings on this long road trip will be happy to go back for Christmas with a couple of wins under their belts.
2 in the pocket. Offside to call against the Penguins entering Los Angeles ice.
The Penguins, meanwhile, as I said, had not lost 2 in a row since the end of October. And it looks like that streak is going down the drain.
Want to have fun? Like so much fun you must have done something wrong fun? Then grab a stuffed
seats. I missed saying he's day to day. We're all day to day. I missed coining absolutely useless catchphrases that your children will mimic incessantly. I missed rushing past the names Vitaly Potapenko and Zenon Andrushushin at 90 miles an hour. I missed saying happy, happy, joy, joy in a world where there just is not enough of it.
Donald Audette, full of life, back in the National Hockey League and doing his thing, scoring goals. And following the game on Fox Sports News, David Stern exclusive, Clements with Chris Myers and Phil Esposito's Fox Scope.
Hammered by the Kings out of their own territory with less than 5 minutes left now in regulation.
Interesting stat that I saw in the Elias Sports Stats the other day, and we looked it up again because I had lost track of it, Mike. But Jagr, when the Penguins win, has 5 goals, 15 assists, 20 points. And when the Penguins lose, 1 goal, 6 assists, and 7 points. So a huge difference for Jaromir Jagr when the Penguins are winning as opposed to when they're losing. They really rely on him to provide the offense for him. He knows it. He knows he's the go-to guy who's got to make things happen on the ice. And that's what he's paid for, and he'd be the first to tell you that. And it bears it out in the stats. That does not include ties, and obviously when the Penguins earn points in ties, Jagr has been productive as well. But in losses, if teams shut him down, that's usually what leads to a great extent to them winning the game and beating the Penguins.
Tyler Wright to the right point to Ian Moran, and he'll drop it in behind the goal to Stu Barnes. Barnes looks the scene over. The Penguins trying to get one on the board here to try and climb back into it. Ian Moran trying to carom it off the boards. Went behind the net to Tyler Wright. Wright tried to center. Galley took it away. So twist that one the length of the ice. This will be an icing call against the Los Angeles Kings. All right, Snaggy, you want to make fun of me, you and everybody in the truck, but this young man, Danny Bylsma, apparently his father has written a book.
Yeah, he and his dad collaborated on it, right?
And it's, the title of it is, So You Want Your Kid to Play in the NHL, and apparently it's a pretty entertaining book. If you're interested in it, put his name up there. We have his graphic. Please keep them all together. I would keep them all together on a lowercase. Dan Bylsma, BYLSMA.com.
Well, he worked his way up from the East Coast Hockey League to the National Hockey League. So this is a guy who worked hard to realize the dream. It's kind of one of those books for guys who have kids and have the dream about their son playing. And this is what you might have to go through to get there.
You might have to resort to that someday here soon, the way things are going here. You might have to write a book. The auger of the Benz on to Slager to the left side. It's interesting. Got a book that's full of detail. He kept a diary of everything and when he was playing and from the minor leagues on up. So should be of some interest. Greg Johnson. Scoots back into Penguin territory, and Kevin Hatcher of the Penguins will peel back. Penguins' next game will be on Saturday night against the Ottawa Senators. The Senators come to town. Pass, timing's not there.
The Penguins are just forcing offense high in the offensive zone as opposed to just getting it in deep. They've been pulling up, making drop passes, throwing the puck through the slot, trying to pass through 4 or 5 guys. It's tough to do.
Not that the Coyotes haven't been noticed this year, but they will be really noticed tonight. They walked into Detroit and they lead 5-2 in the third now over the Red Wings.
It's tough for the Red Wings because they've lost now to Dallas and Phoenix.
Kovalev turning around. Well, those longevities of those cup years, boy, last so long. But it's tough to keep the momentum going. The Penguins are well aware of that. Although in the third year, after they won the second cup, they had their best team ever. But it is awfully tough to keep the momentum throughout an 82-game schedule. Pucks out of action, and everybody expects you to win 80 games no matter what. I mean, after you win a cup, they really do. It's very difficult. And it's been one of the problems the Penguins have had here in the 90s, and to their credit, and Craig Patrick and the management, despite the fact of all the financial trouble, they have been a winning team continually throughout the 90s. They have never, dropped off significantly, and I think that's, fans in a way do get spoiled by it. It's almost like you need to come down a little bit and then regroup and come up. And this club here may afford that opportunity for the Penguins. Hopefully they'll be able to remain viable in the National Hockey League. After this is all said and done, things are complete. Stu Barnes with just over 2 minutes left in the third period. Just no room. What the Penguins want to do now is just get on the scoreboard if possible.
Were feeling very good about themselves after what they did the other night with a shutout against Washington. They hoped that they could really gain some more points before Christmas and go into the Christmas break with a good feeling about themselves, but that will not be the case.
Here's a steal and a backhander to the net right on the goal by Rosa. Well, Rosa was playing with the Ice Dogs of Long Beach before being recalled to the International Hockey League.
The day after Christmas, the Penguins will play a team that they are very familiar with and one that works extremely hard, the Ottawa Senators. Sort of a mirror image of the Penguins.
Nordstrom scooting back behind the Kings goal. Just over a minute left here in regulation. Los Angeles Kings. Osman's going to take the puck and he'll slam into the net. He can't do it.
1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute.
To go. Yager shoots it through the goal mouth. Slager's going to go to the left wing board. Towards the net. Nordstrom had it deflect off his stick. The Kings defenseman. Can't clear. It's Yager again. To the near corner. Blake had Straka lined up. He got nothing but the boards. Got a big Sunoco imprint on his backside. Asher races to get it with an icing call with 30.2 seconds left in regulation. You tell me the Kings here on their list, on their stats, have Stefan Fisset with 1 shutout, Jamie Storr with 1 shutout, and L.A. totals with 3. How does that possible?
Shared shutout or no?
No,
There's only still only 2.
to be. Yes, we got a 3rd one here. There it is at the bottom. They have 3. Let me see. Looking for number 4. Storr looks for a 2nd. It's small print way down at the bottom. So it's a shared shutout. This is Kovalev towards the net, block. And O'Donnell has it. The Kings appear to be on their way to shutting out Pittsburgh. 5 seconds left. Milanoff returns, but it's all over. The Kings have won for the 2nd consecutive game on the road. And they do it in pretty good style. They play extremely well. They get the goal from Glenn Murray that holds up. Turns out to be the game winner, and he is our Dodge player of the game. Right winger Glenn Murray, the former Penguin, with a goal and an assist here tonight. Donald Audette added 1, as did Vladimir Siplikov.
And the Kings will be home for Christmas. It'll be a happy flight home for them.
All right, a happy holidays to all of you from Paul Steigerwald and myself. We remind you to join us again on Saturday night as the Penguins take on the Ottawa Senators. This will be the Kings highlights for the night. Coverage will begin on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Coming up next, Fox Sports News. For Paul Steigerwald, this is Mike Lang saying so long, everybody. Final score again, 3-0 Kings.
Now, tonight's most up-to-the-minute scores, highlights, and sports news from coast to coast. This is Fox Sports News Primetime.
We are off and running on another terrific Tuesday. We've got one of the best college hoops rivalries, a pitcher who may not need to exchange currency, and more hockey than you can shake a stick at. Whew.
Right.
Hi, everyone. Welcome inside the Fox Network Center. Along with Chris Myers, I'm Jeannie Zelasco, and this is Fox Sports News Primetime.
And glad to have you with us. We have a lot to cover over the next 60 minutes, so you want to leave it right here. We'll tell you what's ahead. The Rockets' trade request has been withdrawn. We'll tell you why. Roger Clemens is going to pitch for Toronto this upcoming season in a Fox chat.
Duke and Kentucky try to bring a little bit of March Madness to the holiday season.
Ziggy Palffy finally hits the ice for the Islanders after his lengthy holdout, and you'll see his return.
These snowy slopes of Aspen. NBA commish David Stern locks himself out of the lockout.
This is a place in some ways I'd rather not be. I'd rather use some of the myriad of reservations I have to go back and do something to help settle this labor problem, but I haven't been able to yet.
More with the commission in a moment. We'll also talk about an NBA player who's calling on the rest of his colleagues to take matters into their own hands and put an end to the lockout. We'll check on Vinny Testaverde, his new deal with the Jets. But first, we start with a change of heart by one of the best pitchers in the history of the game. And Roger Clemens thought he was signed and sealed in a deal to the Astros, but something went wrong in the delivery. The 5-time Cy Young Award winner withdrew his trade demand with Toronto today after he and his family were, in his words, insulted by Houston management. Clemens said when the Astros called a news conference at the winter meetings last week and went public with the details of the negotiation that they made him look money hungry. Earlier, Roger spoke with me about it from Texas.
I thought we were pretty close at one time with the Astros and told them whatever it took and whatever it would take to get the deal done to try and push it through. And we were very close at one time. But the comments basically filtered down. It ended up making us look greedy or asking for too much or whatever the case it might have been. But it filtered down and really upset my extended family.
They used the word outrage. They used the word extortion. And they used our offer. Now, our offer was calculated to send a message that this is how much you have to guarantee Roger on an extension. I told the club they ought to give us 2 years. They wanted to do 1.
Does that mean you're not interested in going to Houston if by chance they could work out a deal?
I'm not interested in working alongside two men that would make comments like that would bring distress to myself and my family like it has been. The business part aspect of it, that's why I took a back seat and went behind the scenes. I'm really not a free agent. I knew there's going to be players involved. It was going to be more complex than what it was. And now that we have set the record straight down here, that again, I'm going to go behind the scenes and enjoy the holidays and you know, have a good time doing that and being here in my community, and I'll let everything work itself out.
The two men Clemens was referring to, General Manager Jerry Hunsaker and President Tal Smith of the Houston Astros. Now, his agent Randy Hendricks did say there was one team offering Rogers $60 million plus for 4 years, another offering a 2-year extension that would pay more than Kevin Brown annually, and a third team serious as well. Clemens did tell me he fully expects to start the season in a Blue Jay uniform, and you'll hear him talk about his career goals and what his priority is in his next contract. That's later in this hour.
On to the college hardwood and talk about your holiday stress. Clyde Drexler's gone from the frying pan to the Bearcats' den in the span of 2 weeks. First, his Cougars got pounded by North Carolina State in a game the coach didn't see much of. He was tossed for arguing. And now this, a trip to Cincy and the Shoemaker Center. And the shoe definitely fits the Bearcats. They've won 21 straight at home. But home or away, Bob Huggins' team is winning 9-0 and focused during their scheduled off day Sunday. They actually asked coach to call a shooting practice. Just with the glide, wanted to hear his Conference USA play gets underway. Bob looking for big things in first half. Cincy sets the tone with defense. Check out Kenyon Martin. Get out of there. Kenny Younger tried, but he's not getting anywhere because Martin had 3 blocks in the first half. Cincy up 12 early, looking to do more damage. And look at Pete Michael. 2 hands, Mom. Cincy fans loving only their 4th home game of the year. Later off the inbounds, Michael with the steal and the jam. He had 18 in the first half, and Clyde, happy holidays. Yes, 115-78. Cincy rolls at 10-0. Cincinnati's off to its best start since '95. The Bearcats have won by an average of 29 points at home this season.
All right, and we're joined by Marcus Johnson, our hoop analyst. We're going to look at that Fox scoop a little bit later, and we're going to talk about defense.
You're talking about stifling, suffocating, discombobulating defense. I mean, Bob Huggins' team was just beautiful. The way they came out, they made no doubt about it. Right from the start, they were going to attack G. Gervin, the son of Hall of Famer George Gervin. Every time he turned directions, there was another defender right there breathing down his neck. Didn't give him any room to do anything, get creative. No finger rolls, no nothing. Cincinnati did a great job also in transition. They've got some athletic players, athletic talent. Kenyon Martin, that's a good one. We're going to take a look at this. Just tough Cincinnati defense in a couple of minutes under the Fox scope.
Now, the good thing is Clyde can't be missing the NBA because there is no
there
NBA.
Is no NBA.
All right, Marcus, we'll see you in a little bit.
Right. We're almost at the NBA. All right, a little bit of March Madness in the winter era of December, and whenever Duke and Kentucky get together, the game is a classic. This meeting part of the Jimmy V Classic played in the Meadowlands. Last year, remember, the Wildcats came back from 17 to beat the Blue Devils in the South Regional Final, and then in '92, of course, Christian Leitner's shot felt round the world. That gave Duke the overtime win in the final seconds over UK, also a regional final. This one matching number 2 against number 3, both 10-1 records, and history once again expected to be made. It's a Fox sneak peek. That means it's going on right now at the Meadowlands. First half, Hashimu Evans with a steal, and then looks for Wayne Turner, who goes in for the layup. Kentucky with a 6-point lead in the first half over Duke. The Blue Devils go to their big man to bounce back. Elton Brand, inside drive, nice reverse layup, part of a 14-2 run by the Blue Devils. And that game still in the first half has Duke on top of Kentucky 35-30. First regular season meeting since 1988 between these two. And Duke 12-2 all time, by the way, playing at the Meadowlands. Jeannie?
All right, ACC openers for North Carolina. And Bobby Cremins, he's feeling the pain already. Georgia Tech first half heels up by 1. Ed Cota spots Chris Lang alley-oop. Cota shows the hand is doing just fine, don't you think? Tar Heels by 3 later in the first. Alvin Jones to Jason Collier. Hello. Fawn Marbury cheering on his alma mater. Yellow Jackets up 36-35 at the half. Second half, Georgia Tech pulling away the 3, and then TJ Vines from way downtown, part of a 12-1 Yellow Jacket run. 5 seconds left. Tar Heels down by 2. Max Owens shoots the 3, but oh, it's no go. Yellow Jackets get the board, and they get the win. Cremins and Georgia Tech get the big victory. 66-64 the final score. North Carolina's 4-game winning streak is history. Georgia Tech a huge turnaround after the 41-point loss to Kentucky.
Well, there appears to be a crack in the cement wall, otherwise known as the NBA lockout. Kevin Willis of the Raptors has called for a players' vote by secret ballot in an effort to reach an agreement. This defies the union leadership, whose players are losing $50 million a week in salaries. Willis's agent, Steve Wood, said if there was a blind ballot, he thinks 80% would accept it. The union is adamantly against such a vote for fear it would tear a hole in their blanket of unity. Our Elise Hart reports on the deadline for the dumping of the season.
All's quiet on the negotiating front here in New York. But from Aspen, Colorado, Commissioner David Stern came as close as ever to setting a D-Day when he canceled the season. In order to do that, he'd have to convene the Board of Governors. When Fox Sports News caught up with him on his vacation, he told us he's close to calling for that meeting.
I have put in calls to Billy Hunter. I've told him we do have serious disagreements. I'd love to be able to sit down and negotiate, but if nothing happens in the next several days, I think I'll be required to schedule a board meeting of our Board of Governors for right after the first of the year.
Stern called his holiday a, quote, working vacation. He told us he'd rather be in New York making a deal, but says Union Director Billy Hunter is standing in the way of progress.
Billy Hunter, the union leader, has taken the position that if the owners are not prepared to pay the players more than they were paying, a higher percentage than when the deal was reopened, that we should simply cancel the season. I haven't taken him up on that offer quite yet, because I think the players and the owners and the league and the people that work in this great league of ours at all the teams have a lot more invested than Billy Hunter does, and I'm not that interested in blowing it up. But if he insists that we do it, we may not have any other choice. I think they're wrong-headed and self-destructive. They've cost their players somewhere in excess of $500 million that will simply never, ever in their players' lifetimes be recouped. But they seem to have some secret methodology of negotiating that I've never been exposed to in my 30 years of being associated with the NBA.
While Stern says he tried to reach Hunter by phone, union officials say the two never actually spoke this week. Hunter left Tuesday for San Francisco, where he plans to spend Christmas. The two did have a quick conversation last week when they exchanged holiday greetings. Elise Hart, Fox Sports News, New York.
The union has proposed mediation. In fact, even Jesse Jackson has offered to help. That's how desperate things have gotten.
From hoops held hostage in the NBA to hoops no more in the ABL, the Women's League folded today right in the middle of its season. The American Basketball League reported serious financial losses in its third season and plans to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. You know, the move caught a lot of franchises by surprise. Some still had recordings on their voicemail talking about upcoming games. The ABL was noticeably hurt when the WNBA signed most of this year's top college seniors and lured away some of the ABL's biggest stars. And the WNBA, the only professional women's league left. As for the ladies of the ABL, well, they've been left out of work with nothing but a hotline to call explaining the move and explaining that the league is working on a plan to pay outstanding salaries.
Vinny Testaverde, viewed by most as a career disappointment, is cashing in now big time on his newfound New York success. And he and the Jets have agreed in principle on a contract extension for 4 to 5 years, averaging out to about $6 million a season. The deal has to be approved by the league and